Tobago, good morning. It is 6:32 a.m. Let me take this time to welcome you to Sunrise here on Tobago Updates Television. I am your host, Lavion Cupid, and indeed it is a pleasure to be seated here before you. Today is a Friday, the 23rd of January 2026. We are coming to you live from downtown Scarborough, the Port Mall to be exact. Of course, today is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. As per usual, this morning I want to start you off strongly with the morning brief, as so much has been happening where current affairs is concerned within Trinidad and Tobago, but also regionally and internationally. Yesterday we saw the first ordinary sitting of the Tobago House of Assembly with the newly minted 15 elected assembly members, no longer assemblymen, but assembly members, having that sitting there yesterday up at the Assembly Legislature. So starting you off with the morning brief, yesterday the newly elected assembly members met for the first time as the House convened its first ordinary meeting for the 2026-2030 term. At the sitting, the body announced several administrative updates aimed at improving efficiency and governance. A key development was the appointment of a new leader and a deputy leader of Assembly business. The presiding officer also confirmed the establishment of a special select public administration and integrity committee. Let me say that again. So it's a special select Public Administration and Integrity Committee to oversee ethical conduct within the House. In addition, several sessional select committees were constituted under standing orders. These include Regulations Committee, Public Accounts Committee, House Committee, Standing Order Committee, and the Privileges Committee. The changes signal a renewed focus on accountability, procedural effectiveness, and legislative oversight. All right, so that's it for the Assembly Legislature sitting yesterday. Paying very close attention to that Special Select Public Administration and Integrity Committee, the Chief Secretary Fali Augustine promised would be the body that would be that mediator for the public and the House, as there's no minority, and he wants to ensure that the public is involved in Tobago's business, involved in the government's business moving forward. All right, in some news of crime on the island, 3 men have been charged with housebreaking and larceny following a series of unrelated incidents reported across Tobago in recent days. Police said that 18-year-old Javon Edwards and 21-year-old Samson Leith, both of Signal Hill, were arrested during a routine patrol in the area after officers allegedly discovered items believed to be stolen in their possession. Both men appeared before a High Court master on January 19th, where they both pleaded not guilty to the charges and received bail in the sum of $40,000 and $45,000 respectively. In a separate matter, 26-year-old Anthony Edwards was charged with housebreaking and larceny, a report that was made in the Scarborough area. Edwards pleaded not guilty and was subsequently granted $85,000 bail and placed under restriction orders. Paying attention to the age group there, we see 18, 21, and 26. Very young men. Shows evidence that our social fabric is ripping apart, and we need a lot more intervention there. Moving along, Trinidad and Tobago's maritime sector has been strengthened with the arrival of the MV Blue Wave Harmony at the port of Port of Spain yesterday. The vessel has begun domestic cargo operations between the two islands, increasing freight capacity and improving the reliability of the inter-island sea bridge. Its entry into service supports more efficient logistics and helps meet a growing demand for cargo transports. The MV Blue Wave Harmony. Some good news there for truckers, some good news there for Tobagonians. Some good news there for the business community. And taking a look nationally, the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago has announced that the 5-cent coin will be demonetized by 1st March 2026, following cabinet approval. The institution cited high production cost and decline in purchasing power. A special committee has been formed to manage the withdrawal and assess its impact. Once implemented, cash transactions will be rounded to the nearest 10 cents, while electronic payments will remain unchanged. Public education and stakeholder engagement will be prioritized to ensure a smooth transition. I can't recall, but I think it could have been almost a decade ago. The 1-cent coin was demonetized, and usually the cost of minting one of those, if it exceeds the value of the cent itself, doesn't make any sense keeping. But also a steady inflation is also one of the reasons for demonetizing coins. Taking a look regionally, Venezuelan lawmakers have approved major reforms to the country's hydrocarbon laws, allowing increased foreign participation in the oil industry and marking a shift away from decades of strict state control under PDVSA. The changes would permit foreign companies to operate oil fields at their own risk and cost, with the aim of rapidly boosting production and attracting much-needed investment. The reforms align with conditions set by the United States of America following recent political developments in Caracas and have coincided with agreements to resume Venezuelan crude sales to the U.S. Lawmakers have also moved to strengthen legal protections for businesses to address investor concerns. However, political uncertainty, security risk, and ongoing disputes over the release of political prisoners remain significant obstacles to large-scale investment and long-term stability. And finally, taking a look internationally, where we see this isn't a country, but more of a business, also bending to the will of the United States. We have an agreement has been reached to transfer TikTok's assets to a U.S. entity, TikTok USDS Joint Venture LLC, ahead of a government deadline. The deal shifts control of U.S. user data and operations to the joint venture, with the consortium of U.S.-based investors holding a majority stake and ByteDance retaining a minority share. The new company will license TikTok's algorithm from ByteDance, retrain it using U.S. data, and rely on Oracle for data storage and content moderation. While the move aims to address security concerns, its full impact on users and regulators remain unclear. So we see the largest, most profitable social media site being majority of its shares being sold by force to a US-based company. Of course, the US is citing security concerns, as is the same with wanting to claim Greenland. Security concerns, as the same with the Maduro situation, security concerns. We await to see whatever country or entity is going to bend to the will of the United States as we continue this tenure under US President Donald Trump, who also did mention that, he might look at changing some of the constitution, that he could serve another term. But of course, we are going to pay attention to geopolitical tensions and developments as they continue, because again, we always remember that we can never say that we live so far away. It doesn't trickle down. It really does trickle down to us. Whether you are viewing us via our social media handles this morning or Flow, Digicel, or AMPLIA, I want to thank you so much for choosing us right here on Sunrise, choosing Tobago Updates Television to wake you up, where we keep you informed. It is indeed our pleasure. We will continue programming with you this morning. After sunrise, it is the morning show, and then we have a Good Morning Tobago. Today's conversation we did have a conversation planned around Tobago Carnival for you this morning. Tobago's National Carnival, and what National Carnival is going to look like in Tobago. We know that there were talks last year around the Tobago October Carnival time, or we should just say Tobago Carnival, because we never know how it's going to fall. I think this year it's falling early, part of it is early November. I'm not very certain, but usually that last weekend in October, so it could fall anywhere there. So Tobago Carnival celebrations, there was a conversation on whether or not Tobago should heavily invest and participate, and stakeholders should participate in National Carnival, or should we do away with our participation in National Carnival and put all our focus in Tobago's Carnival. But we did reach out to the CEO of Tobago Festivals, Kern Cowan, who did promise that he will join us when he has some more clearance on some of the issues, and so very early next week he would be joining us to have that conversation. But we will continue conversations here this morning as we talk about things that are trending within Trinidad and Tobago that will or does affect us. So as we take this quick break, I want you to enjoy the aerial view of beautiful Scarborough that our technical team is working on, and we're going to be right back with more programming here, more talks right here on Sunrise. So do me a favor in the meantime and share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be back. Tobago, the sun is rising, and so are the conversations that matter, from the economy to education, from healthcare to community voices. No spin, no fluff, just facts, truth, and clarity. Join me, Lavian, as we cover the issues that shape our lives, the stories we can't ignore. We bring them to the table and ask the questions you want answered.
Who said the elderly can't have fun too? We're talking good food, proper music, lots of games, and a day at the beach they will never forget. From the time we left the compound at Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly, the vibe was already established. Wheels up and seatbelts on. Watch now, when we touched down in Pigeon Point, everybody was ready for excitement. But before anything could take place, we had to secure bellies. You ever play bingo by the beachside? Well, that was the first activity on the roster, and boy did these seniors have fun. However, others wanted something more physical, so we brought out the ring toss, and not even arthritis could have stopped them. Well, I was blown away at how straight these people were. Are you sure this is a home for the elderly? Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday, but nothing beats the song of good steel pan by the shores while we take a dip in Tobago's finest water. Wait, more food again? This is my type of event. The energy was amazing and nothing short of a blessing. Pick up Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly, because joy doesn't retire, laughter doesn't age, and memories like these last forever.
To a stranger, this is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show. To them once again, they better look out below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look out below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Viewers, welcome back to Sunrise here on Tobago Updates Television. As per usual, thank you so much for waking up with us, and thank you so much for choosing us to deliver all your current affairs to you. This week was such an interesting week, but you know what? It carries over into next week as Trinidad and Tobago holds its breath for the ZOSO bill, that's Zones of Special Operations, because of course that is a bill, once passed, will affect every single citizen. Sometimes in Tobago we think it's only going to affect Trinidad because Trinidad alone has hotspots, but of course we must keep our eye on it, because one unlikely murder would and can turn a village into a zone of special operations. And just for some clarity on what a zone of special operations is, as we move to the end of the state of emergency, being reminded that it was enacted, I think it was July of last year, after the United National Congress took office. It comes to an end on the 31st of January, and so the sitting administration, central government administration, is seeking to pass legislation which is sort of like a mini state of emergencies within communities, and it gives the Prime Minister the unilateral power to declare any area a zone of special operations. And you will see joint forces, that would be the police service and the military, and officers under the military would now have powers as that of a police constable. And under these zones of special operations, these officers will not need a warrant to search your home, your vehicle, or your person. There'll also be curfews within these districts. There was no clear mandate on what time zones the curfews will, from what time to what time these curfews will be, but there'll be curfews along with the random searches. But what even makes it a little bit more ticklish is that these zones of special operations would run for 180 days. That's 6 months. And so there are quite a few concerns being raised. Right now, the ball is in the court of the independent senators. The government needs at least 4 votes from the independent senators. A reminder that there are 9 independent senators selected by the president. And so we would have already had some senators making their delivery on the legislation. We again hold our breath. We look into possibly next week, Monday, probably the furthest next week, Tuesday, to see if this legislation will pass or fail. Some of the concerns are the constitutional rights of citizens, because not every hot spot or area that they would declare zone of special operation has all criminals. Of course, there are law-abiding citizens, there's the elderly, there's children, women, pregnant women, and so on, children heading to school. And their daily lives are going to be interrupted. But also the business community, the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce, is weighing in, saying enough consultation wasn't had with the business community. Of course, if there is a zone of special operation and there's a business that I need to get to in there, I'm not going in there because I don't want to be randomly searched. I don't want my person or my vehicle to be randomly searched. I don't want to be stopped, and I don't want to be inconvenienced. And so we're going to see small businesses, more macro and micro and small businesses, they are the ones that are going to be affected. Of course, on the grand scheme of things, the great conglomerates and so on, and large scale businesses, they won't be affected. But the small man trying to make a dollar is definitely going to be affected. And then we look at the social aspect. Of course, we saw the People's National Movement speaking to race, and how that might also, how they believe that the zone of special operations might impact particularly those of African descent. We know that the zone of special operations is something that Jamaica has had since 2017. And there was no time frame put in. They actually still have those zones in place up to this day, and it's not, we haven't had the statistics to say, well, they've benefited greatly from it. What we do know is that from 2017 to now, they have had to go back to Parliament to have that legislation amended 7 times, and for reasons due to police abusing their power, and therefore citizens being reprimanded, and so many different other fallouts from such legislation. So we will pay attention. I don't know how many persons are paying attention, but we here at Tobago Updates Television, we are paying attention so that we could bring that information for you. Sometimes we have these bills before the Parliament, and we aren't paying attention that much until it's implemented, and it does affect our daily lives, and then now we have we want to say something. But also under zone of special operation, you can't protest. So there are so many different things. If taking into consideration, if you're under zone of special operation and you need water, you want to stage a protest as a community that WASA hasn't been sending water, you can't. And so there are so many different elements of this zone of special operations that citizens should take into consideration. But of course, the ball is now in the court of the 9 independent senators. Earlier this week, we saw Prime Minister Kamala Persad label the senators bootlickers. She's saying that they have affiliation to the People's National Movement. So we pay attention to hear how they would vote. Again, the government needs 4 votes from the independent senators to have this bill passed. So a lot happened within Trinidad and Tobago over the last week. We also see a $700 registration fee for migrants or instant deportation. That was another piece of news passed right here in Trinidad and Tobago. So of course, we will be paying attention and bringing you all those updates to keep you updated so that you would know what is happening in and around Trinidad and Tobago. Well, viewers, that's it for Sunrise here this morning. As we wrap up Sunrise, we head on to the morning show. The programming is never done here. We do have lots of interesting conversations lined up for you, and as promised, next week we jump into that conversation about National Carnival in Tobago and what can we expect. We see some bands have already been advertising, so we know that Juve is happening. I see that things are happening in Roxborough. Of course, good morning Roxborough, that's my hometown. Roxborough always doesn't matter whether they have the support or not. Roxborough stays indigenous to itself and always keeps close to its culture. And Roxborough, whether it's Mudmas or Juve, always an epic experience. Not that I'm saying that that's where you should go and jump up. I don't know if you want to go there. Definitely go up there and support. I've seen some really great bands being launched up in the East. You know, the East is where the air is rare and where the wise men come from. All right, viewers, so I'm going to send you over to the morning show with the lovely Renaissance, of course, the very, very handsome Akin Lab. You know what? I'm not going to be upset with them this morning. I see they have on black. They're matching again. But because I'm wearing red and it's red, white, and black, I'm going to give them a blind this morning.
Patriotism.
Good morning, Lavia.
Good morning, my dear. Well, I know you all have a packed show for them, but guys, the MV Blue Wave arrived yesterday. Excitement.
Yes. It seems as if the government handled the situation very quickly. We didn't go through a situation that we had, I believe it was in 2017 or 2018, when it was a very prolonged process between the two cargo ships. This time around, the ship came in pretty quickly.
Yes.
And also the public, they are happy that this time when we have vessels like this coming in, we know the concern is ensuring that it's a vessel that is up to par. And I know some of the comments will, at least it didn't break down on the way here. So we know for a fact that, I guess, going into the procurement process of acquiring this new vessel, all the boxes were checked off.
Right, indeed. I see Chief Secretary Fali Augustine say he's going to make the trip up on the vessel. I wish him all the best coming through the Bocas. All the best. I wish him all the best. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful show and a great weekend. And of course, I'm going to see you Monday morning. All right, viewers, so that's it for Sunrise here on Tobago Updates Television. And as promised, the programming is not done here on Tobago Updates. We head on over to the morning show and then a Good Morning Tobago. I want to wish you a fantastic weekend. And again, I want to thank you for always choosing Tobago Updates Television and choosing Sunrise. See you again on Monday.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Today is Friday, January the 23rd, 2026. We are almost at the end of January and yesterday was payday, so I know that we made it through the 12 months of January. I am your host, Akinabi Holder, and joining me in studio is the lovely Vanessa Ortiz. Good morning, Vanessa.
Good morning, Akinabi. That 12 months of January. I know a lot of people are usually dreading it during the December period, but as you said, it was payday yesterday, so I'm sure there are a lot of people who are happy about that. Good morning to our viewers this morning. Good morning to our Tobago Updates family. Good morning to those viewing internationally and regionally and as well in Trinidad. Good morning and welcome to you.
Yes, viewers, we have a very interesting show for you today. You all know that today is Friday, and usually on Fridays, Mr. Cricket Marcus Daniel will be in with us later on in the show to talk about all things sports in Tobago. But before we get into any conversations whatsoever, we head on over to our news in 90 seconds.
Here's what's making news in 90 seconds for Friday, January 23rd, 2026. Yesterday, the newly elected assembly members met for the first time as the House covered its first ordinary meeting for 2026-2030 term. At the sitting, the body announced several administrative updates aimed at improving efficiency and governance. A key development was the appointment of a new leader and deputy leader of assembly business. The presiding officer also confirmed the establishment of a special select public administration and integrity committee to oversee ethical conduct within the House. In addition, several secessional select committees were constituted under standing orders. These include Regulations Committee, Public Accounts Committee, House Committee, Standing Order Committee, and Privileges Committee. The changes signal a renewed focus on accountability, procedural effectiveness, and legislative oversight. Up next, Trinidad and Tobago's maritime sector has been strengthened with the arrival of the MV Blue Wave Harmony at the port of Port of Spain yesterday. The vessel has begun domestic cargo operations between the two islands, increasing freight capacity and improving the reliability of the inter-island sea bridge. Its entry into service supports more efficient logistics and helps meet growing demand for cargo transport. And finally, the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago has announced that the 5-cent coin will be demonetized by 1st March 2026 following cabinet approval. The institution cited high production costs and declining purchasing power. A special committee has been formed to manage the withdrawal and assess its impact. Once implemented, cash transactions will be rounded to the nearest 10 cents, while electronic payments will remain unchanged. Public education and stakeholder engagement will be prioritized to ensure a smooth transition. These and other stories in our major newscast at 6:30 p.m. Be viewing Tobago Updates Television, and that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you very much, Vanessa, for that news in 90 seconds. And we see the first sitting of the Assembly legislators. Very interesting times. They established the committees, the subcommittees, as well as appointing the leader of Assembly business yesterday.
And the deputy leader as well. I know that was Adana. I can't remember the last name right now, but I know they appointed those both persons who are in charge of dealing with the schedule of events. And I know also Miss Hackett was also placed in charge of bringing certain bills to the House as well. I got to read through some of the things that they put out. Just interesting. I want to see how things would unfold over the next year,
or
next
the next
2 years.
You know, for the next 4-year period. It's quite interesting, you know. Oftentimes you're expecting to hear that minority voice in the legislature, and for the second time in the history of the Assembly, we don't have that minority voice. But I'm glad to see that the administration has put things in place for that minority voice to be heard from the people themselves. I think they've set up two circumstances under which you can have a motion brought before the House, a motion or questions brought before the House by members of the public once they have a certain amount of support from members of the public. So it's very good to see that they've put that in place to really keep and maintain and keep alive that sense of democracy within the legislature.
But I know I also saw in that procedure as well, apart from having the certain amount of backing from registered voters here on the island, they also need to have final approval from the presiding officer. So then the question that is now posed is, if this is actually something that is of a serious nature here on the island of Tobago, and they get all the backing, they have gone through all the 21 days of assistance, but the presiding officer doesn't see it fit to pass through, then what happens?
Well, the thing is, the approval of the presiding officer, I don't want to say it's a rubber stamp because it's not a rubber stamp. But in the cases where we've had minority bench, their questions and their motions also have to go through the approval of the presiding officer. So this is something that is more procedural more than it is censoring mechanism. It's not a censoring mechanism. It's more of a procedural mechanism that they have to go through.
Okay. And I think I also saw the implementation of electronic signatures and digital documents being presented. And I know that is something that is going to be very beneficial going forward, especially not only in terms of governance, but also when it comes to our service providers. I know a lot of times we need persons in person to do original signatures, and really moving to that modernization of the public service as well. It shows that they are taking the steps that they would have said that they would in the blueprint.
I think for me, one of the more exciting things about the new administration is that they really seem, in these initial days, they seem to be very serious about driving Tobago forward, moving Tobago forward, and I'm really excited to see what the next 4 years holds for Tobago.
Yeah.
All right, viewers, it's that time of the morning, time to celebrate with those who are celebrating with us. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. Yes, and at Tobago Updates, we want to celebrate with you whatever you're celebrating. But today we will celebrate birthdays, and we start off our celebrations by saying happy birthday to Miss Adana Clark, who is the lone celebrant today. And Miss Adana Clark, happy birthday to you. God's richest blessings. This is your special day, and because you're the lone person, I'll ask my co-host to join in with me and give you a few words as well.
Happy birthday to you, Adana Clark. I hope you enjoy your day, that today is filled with lots of joy, that your year ahead is filled with all your goals coming true and God's richest blessings upon your life.
All right, happy birthday to you, Miss Clark, and I know it's going to be a special one for you today. Viewers, whatever you're celebrating, we want to celebrate with you, whether it's a birthday, an anniversary, you've graduated, whatever you're celebrating, send it to us here at Tobago Updates, and Tobago, Trinidad, the region, and the wider world will celebrate with you. Yes, we have such an exciting lineup this morning, Vanessa, and before we get into any of those conversations, we want to thank you for viewing with us on our Facebook page or YouTube channel, 102 on AMPLIA, 121 and 130 on Flow, and 33 on Digicel. Whether you're in Tobago, you're in Trinidad, you're in the Caribbean, or the wider world, we want to thank you for making Tobago Updates Tobago's #1 television station. And we ask you to do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Tobago, the sun is rising, and so are the conversations that matter, from the economy to education, from healthcare to community voices. No spin, no fluff, just facts, truth, and clarity. Join me, Lavian, as we cover the issues that shape our lives, the stories we can't ignore. We bring them to the table and ask the questions you want answered.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates in Morning Show, viewers. And we are going to get into a bit of conversation between myself and my co-host. Viewers, we're going to have our phone lines open in a little bit, so we want you to join the conversations with us. So you can call us at 284-6597, 284-6597, and in a short bit as well, we will have that overhead footage for you to give you that traffic report in the vicinity of Scarborough. Once again, you can call our phone lines, have a conversation with us, tell us what you want to say to us. 284-6597, and we see there the drone is up and moving, and we're at Wilson Road traffic light. Yes, it's still early in the morning, 7:17. The traffic is very light, so you can get out now, get out onto the roads, hit the highway, and you will have an easy time getting into Scarborough. Remember, as it gets closer to 8, 8:30, and even 9 a.m., the traffic tends to get a bit more intense. So if you're up, you had your food, your children are ready, it's time to head out. It's time to head out and get to work. Let's finish the week strong, Tobago. Let's finish the week strong. Let's make this a very, very, very productive Friday. When I say, sometimes on Fridays, we tend to take it a little too easy on Fridays,
I don't agree with that. I guess it all depends. Really? I guess it all depends on what you have going on in your life. And I think sometimes majority of your workload gets put off until Friday because you're saying the next day. And then Friday comes and you realize, okay, the weekend is here. Yes. And I would not be able to get anything done. So I think Friday is one of the most busiest days of the week.
I guess in terms of if you're, handling your personal matters, that might count. But sometimes, we tend to handle our boss's business a bit lighter on Fridays. Sometimes, you're rushing into the divisions, the very government offices, and by 3:30, people gone, the place is closed up, that kind of thing.
I've actually had the opposite experience where a lot of the work actually comes on a Friday. Sometimes they come very urgent.
You're working in.
Things are urgent. You have things to do. You have things to process. Mm-hmm. I've experienced that. So
you're working in accounts. You definitely. From the way you're talking, you're definitely working in accounts.
So we have different beliefs about what happens on a Friday. Fridays are one of the most busiest days.
I think we have different experiences of what happens on a Friday. So viewers, you can still call us and tell us what you speak to us about the matters that are important to you at 284-6597. That's 284-6597. So give us a call. We're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we expect to hear from you, members of the public. So do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
How it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna. Look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
Tobago, the sun is rising. And so are the conversations that matter, from the economy to education, from healthcare to community voices. No spin, no fluff, just facts, truth, and clarity. Join me, Lavian, as we cover the issues that shape our lives, the stories we can't ignore. We bring them to the table and ask the questions you want answered.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Yes, we have our phone lines open. Yes, please call us here at Tobago Updates. We want to hear from you. 284-6597. That's 284-6597. We are with your calls. We're excited to hear from you, members of the public, on the matters that matter to you. Vanessa, talking about matters that matter to you, what are you most looking forward to as we're still in that sense of the new administration and issues of governance that are taking the forefront of Trinidad and Tobago's news? What are you looking forward to with this new administration the most?
I know a lot of times when it comes to opposing parties leading, and I'm not just talking about here in Tobago, I'm talking about Trinidad and Tobago as a whole. Mm-hmm. What I'm looking forward to is collaboration, and I know we've been hearing it over the election season, but that is very imperative because we are still trying to get certain bills in place for Tobago so Tobago can operate on its own in certain faculties, but we have not yet acquired a good number of these things, so we still have to go through the central government. Yes. So what I'm looking forward to is collaboration. I know for a fact the new administration, they have some bright ideas, as was seen with the blueprint, and I'm hoping that the collaboration needed for these things to come to fruition does occur. I'm also excited about the implementation, and this is something I've always spoken about in terms of, it's always easy to say you're going to do this as a new administration. It's always easy to say you want these things to be rolled out, but then when it comes to the implementation and putting things in place to ensure these things are rolled out in the way that the public expects, sometimes there's a disconnect. So I'm looking forward to implementation, I'm looking forward to collaboration, I'm looking forward to leaders who understand that there are young people, not just the mature residents of the island that are looking up to them, but the young people are looking at the way that they are going to go about what they are doing, and that would set the pattern and the example for them going forward and coming up, because everything starts with the young people. They are the future generation. They are the ones who are going to be the leaders when our leaders now step down. So I'm looking forward to see how that goes over in the next 4 years.
As you spoke about collaboration, I think that a lot of persons I've spoken to will have also mentioned that as one of the motivating factors in voting for the way they voted. These are persons that would have voted for the TPP. And they would have stated that, you know, sometimes they get a bit wary of that opposing party in THA versus central government, and that back and forth fighting and bickering that has is a good part of our history in the Tobago political space. It happened with Coach Charles and the UNC in the 90s, in the late 90s. It happened with over London and the People's Partnership in the early 2010s, during the Prime Minister's first term. And I think persons wanted to avoid it because it also happened with the PDP/TPP and the PNM in the last term. And I think persons have become very wary of it. Persons want to avoid it, and they just want to have that smooth relationship between Tobago and Trinidad. They want to try that out again. They want peace. They want peace. And I think that would have motivated a lot of persons to vote in the way they voted. And I think persons are looking forward, like you said, persons are looking forward to that 4 years of productivity when you have cordial relationships between the THA and the central government. So really, and once we have that cordial relationship, we're really looking forward to delivery, as you said. So I've read some of the things in the blueprint, and they sound good. Some of the things, they sound good, they sound exciting, and we hope that they can achieve as much as they possibly can within these next 4 years.
But apart from collaboration, I think it's also something that we have seen over the years, and this is within conversations with individuals that I've had in terms of when there is an administration in, they would start certain projects, they would start certain initiatives, and they are actually good for the people. And I think the issue is sometimes when the opposition comes into power, some of these programs are shut down, some of these initiatives aren't continued, some of these things are just left there to rot. And I'm saying, along with other people as well, if this is something for the benefit of the people and you went in for the purpose of serving the people and you know that this can serve the people, why not continue it? Why think about, okay, this is something the previous party was dealing with, I am not going to continue it because that isn't under my purview, that isn't under my mission for my party, even if it does serve the people and you are proclaiming that we are here to serve the people.
Well, one of the problems we have in this country is that and that's the way our system is, but our developmental progress or developmental plan or schedule, if you want to call it that, is determined by politicians. And very often different political parties have different ideas. We want to get to the same goal, but we have different ideas of how to get to that goal. And the way how our political system is, when a new party gets in power, their mandate is different. And so sometimes, very often, they have to scrap something, even though it's beneficial, and then do it in a slightly different way or do it in a different way altogether. And in order to get to that same spot, because that's not what they promised the people. They promised the people, we'll go left and then we'll go right and then we'll go straight, instead of just going straight. The last party was going straight. Now we say we'll go left, we'll go right, and then we'll go straight. And the people vote them in. The people say, okay, well, let me go left, let me go right, let me go straight. So when they get into power, even though straight was a good idea as well, they now have to go left, they have to go right, they have to go straight, because that's the mandate they were given by the people. And that's one of the pitfalls of our democratic system. But there are some projects, regardless of whether Party A or Party B does it, it is beneficial to the people of Tobago and should be stay in place. And sometimes, quite frankly, it's just political immaturity that leads to some of these initiatives being scrapped.
But then we talk about fiscal responsibility, and if there is a infrastructure already in place and resources were already utilized to ensure that this got to the stage that it's at, why is it that now you're going to be utilizing more resources than you needed to in the first place?
Good question. That is one I can't that's one I can't answer, but that's a very, very good question. Sometimes some persons just don't see it. I don't know, like I said, it's just political immaturity in some cases. Some persons don't see it as that. The money not really coming out of their pockets, so they're not feeling the weight of the financial implications of the decisions. So they just go about doing what they do not really thinking much about how it impacts other things.
But then I would also say that we aren't in the position of the politicians. We don't know what are some of the things that they have to face. We don't know what are some of the tough decisions that they have to face. And we look at it on the outside thinking, well, it's just as easy as 1, 2, 3, when in fact it may not be.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing. We always say that it's easy to speak when you're outside.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get inside and you see there are so many other factors that play into decision making that the public is never privy to. We never know. Even opposition members, members of the minority who might have a better insight into what's really taking place, they still don't know the full story. They don't know the full picture. They don't have the full picture, and so heavy is the head that wears the crown. And sometimes they can't even tell us why they're making the decisions they're making. Sometimes they have to just stay quiet and take the licks while they have to make a decision that they feel is in the best interest of the people of Tobago, or whether it's central government in the best interest of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And that's one of the unfortunate things about politics in this country, or politics in general, anywhere in the world you go. All right, viewers, we have to go for a short break, but when we come back, Mr. Cricket Marcus Daniel is here. He's going to be discussing all things sports in Tobago, so do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships. It's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
And viewers, welcome back, and thank you so much for staying tuned to Tobago Updates Television. It's Friday, 23rd January. Yes, we are nearing the end of this very, very long January. It's very customary, yes? And we are now into the sporting segment, the best segment on a Friday morning. Shout out to Akinlabi and Renessa for holding it down in the first half hour. We're getting ready to chat with head coach of FC Phoenix. Yes, FC Phoenix. And then, of course, later on, we're going to chat with President of the Tobago Cricket Association, Mr. Kerwin John. But we're going to get Mr. James Beard. He's online with us this morning. Mr. Beard, are you there?
I am. And I shout out to all the people at Tobago. I see it's a dreary morning, but we hope some joy with football.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us here this morning on Tobago Updates. Of course, firstly, let me congratulate you on your new appointment as head coach of FC Phoenix. You know, Phoenix is very dear to my heart, right? As a resident of Kingdom Bonaccord for over 20 years. I'm no longer living there, but I always look at Kingdom Bonaccord as my home. And you know, you have taken up a job leading this team in the Trinidad and Tobago Premier Football League. But before we get into the discussion about how the season has been thus far, I'm sure Tobago would like to know, who is James Beard?
Well, as I say, you obviously hear from the Scottish accent. I am from Scotland, but I actually played for Tobago United in 2007, and Tobago is very dear to my heart. So, like I say, I do come from across the waters, but I do class Tobago as my second home. When Peter Granville invited me over to Tobago, and that was where I met obviously some fantastic people, one being Terry Williams, and how obviously this whole opportunity came about. But to me, Tobago holds a lot in my heart. I mean, I met my wife in Tobago. I have a lot of good things that's happened to me in Tobago, and as I say, I'm hoping to bring some joy back to Tobago again with this appointment and this wonderful football team, because as I say, they're a bunch of great guys. I don't think they believe in how good they are, because they could be fantastic, and that's my job to show them what they can do.
Oh, fantastic. But how did the conversation went, obviously approached by Mr. Williams to take over this job? I mean, and in terms of from Coach Terry and from yourself, did you initially accept the job, or you went back to the wife, or you went back to the community and you had a conversation, or you accepted it one time?
Well, as I say, I mean, I've always been very good friends with Terry. We always would have discussions throughout the years, and when I saw the start of the season go badly, I saw the team obviously drift to the bottom of the table. You know, I always kept an eye on it, and I happened to be at one of the games, and we were just having a conversation while I was watching it, you know, and then it came to the point I said, you know what, I believe I can help this team, and I can, you know, help inspire the guys and start pushing up that table. So that was where it started, just obviously watching a TT Premier League game. Obviously I live in Trinidad, so I was at one of the games, and that's how it happened. And as I say, it's just been onwards and upwards from there. I mean, it's a lot of hard work, because sometimes it's changing the culture, the mindset, but the guys have been very receptive, and they're putting in a lot of great effort. And as I say, I'm very appreciative to Terry and the guys for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah, fantastic. And in terms of when you took charge of the squad to where you are now, can you just give me a breakdown of that?
Yeah, well, as I say, this is, I think, my 6th or 7th game. Sixth game. So we've won 3, lost 3, but we got an opening victory, obviously, against Point Fortin, and it was, I think, sometimes when you come into a new job, the euphoria, the change of things obviously gives the guys, you know, that little bit of that boost. And I think that happened, obviously. But I mean, I knew right away that there'd be things that I had to change. Obviously, sometimes when a team's obviously near the bottom of the table, obviously there's little things that need to change. But one of the things I noticed is we were losing in the last 5 minutes of games.
Right.
So obviously it came down to concentration. So the ability was there, the talent's there. We were scoring goals, but we just needed to get it over the line. So it all came down to game management. Obviously, speaking to the players and using the bench as well, I think, because we have some very good players, and sometimes the game's not won just by the 11 on the field. It's obviously the guys that can come on and make a difference, and just being able to show the guys that this is the case. And that's, I think, how we've won, obviously, 3 of the games. Obviously, I'm under no illusion it's going to be difficult because there is relegation this year in the Premier League, but I think if we keep doing what we're doing, we keep creating the good habits and we keep the environment, you know, safe, enjoyable, I think we can do that, and we can push up and finish, obviously, a good mid-table position.
Oh, fantastic, because I'm just looking at the standings here, and on the 12-team table, Phoenix, I mean, you guys are down there, way down there at the bottom after 11 games on 6 points. And then you mentioned there's relegation this season, or top 3, bottom 3, or?
I think it's supposed to be the bottom 2. But actually, since the last 2 victories, we've now jumped up to 9th. So I mean, we have kind of pushed up a little bit. So, and I think if we're able to take, you know, some points out of the next 2 games, we can get as far up as 7th or even 6th. So it just shows you that the bottom half of that table, there is a lot of teams fighting for those spots.
Yeah, and in terms of I mean, your 6 games in, have you started to get any kind of regrets, or you think that you can really change the atmosphere in the team? Because you mentioned that you have been losing games in the last 5 minutes. That seems to be a mental problem and not really a tactical problem.
Yeah, we've been doing some work, as I say, on and, you know, using all the people I know in football. I mean, I've been in football a long time, you know, 20 years as a player. I mean, just close to 10 years as a coach now. So I've been speaking to psychologists, other coaches, and that's helped a lot as well. And I think the work we've been doing on the field, I mean, obviously during the last month, it was quite logistically, because I do live in Trinidad, so I've been flying over every day. And then obviously with the conflict they had between obviously America and Venezuela, a lot of flights were, you know, they were off. Then
we lost him. Oh, you have lost Mr. Beard, of course. You know, that's the nature of when we do the online course. But yeah, FC Phoenix head coach, you know, took over from Nigel D'Souza. I believe there was another guy between Nigel and Mr. Beard, and you know, Phoenix out of Caden Monaco, the lone Premier Division team out of Tobago, you know, trying to ensure that our Tobago players they have the opportunity to play at the highest level, and obviously being seen by you know, the likes of head coach of the national team Dwight York and many others. So expecting that you know, the team, they are hoping to get out of that relegation zone and to maintain their spot in the Premier Division. What we're going to do, we can take a short break. We have him back, Mr. Beard. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I am back.
We lost it there a bit. And I mean, you were talking about, you know, the psychology of getting the team playing at their best. And you spoke about getting persons familiar to yourself and familiar to mental or capacity building in that sense. You were speaking to that.
Yeah, well, as I say, it's just sometimes changing little details, and I think that's what it comes down to. Just, you know, I mean, I think technically a lot of the players are very good, so it's nothing to do with that. I think it was just, you know, showing them that, you know, this is what we need to do to finish off a game, you know, using the bench, utilising the players we have, and even just, you know, focusing right to, you know, 100 minutes rather than 90 minutes, because sometimes these games go that long. So it was just getting the players to understand that, and I think the guys have bought into it brilliantly. We have a great bunch of guys. We've brought in 1 or 2 players, and as I say, I think we will do very well.
Fantastic. And as someone who has coached for over 10 years and you have played as well, I mean, tell me about the standard and quality of play in this Trinidad and Tobago Professional Football League.
Well, as I say, I live here, so I've always said that the talent is fantastic. I mean, I think sometimes it's just that little bit of discipline, and that's where obviously the coaching aspect comes in, to make sure, you know, the teams have a philosophy, they play a certain way. And as I say, one of my philosophies is always hard work, high intensity football. So when you watch our team, you should see that. You know, every team has their own flavour, and I think that's one thing that I bring. And I think from what I see with the guys in Tobago, they have that energy, they have that vibe, and I think that's what we've been trying to couple together, my philosophy and the team's philosophy, and I think it's worked pretty well. I mean, obviously the one thing we have to remember is we are, in some respects, the only part-time team because most of my guys work, whereas the other teams in the league all are full-time. And obviously we are travelling to Trinidad to play most of our games. It'd be nice to obviously get a lot more home games in Tobago because when the Tobago crowd comes out, like you saw at the weekend there, the guys play better, they step up their game and they get to play in front of their friends and family. So that's what we want. We want, the Tobago people to see the other players and come out and support us, and that's what makes it great for us.
Fantastic. I know you guys have struggled to have a consistent venue for training. Has that been resolved?
Well, we are back at training at Cane and Bonaccord, so they're back at the main field, which is good. So we are there. After about my first week, we came back there, and I think there is work ongoing in the field, but we're using that, we're utilising what we have, and I think it's easier for the guys because a lot of the guys are from around the area as well.
Yeah, and ideally, just before we go, where would you want to finish on the table?
I mean, I would love to say we could push for that top game we have. We'll see. I mean, it could be done, but it all depends on how we finish this transfer window. There's about 8 days left in the transfer window. If we can bring in maybe a little more to spice up the pot in a sense, I think we could make that push. But I think realistically, we want to get a good mid-table finish and then look towards next season because I believe this squad has a lot and I think we could go challenge for things once we get things right.
Yeah, and you mentioned the transfer window. I mean, we may not want to let the cat out of the bag, so to speak. Any particular player or players you are looking at to get into the squad?
Well, as I say, I'm always looking for players that can come and help us, like I say, off the bench especially, because we have a very good starting 11. We have guys on the bench that have done well, but I think there is certain positions. Like I do think we need a little extra attacking options. We have lost a few players, and so we need somebody in there as well. And I think, as I say, because as I say, part-time team, we do need guys that some guys work, so we do need probably to bring in an extra midfielder. So those are what I'm looking at the moment, but we have some great guys there, and they keep putting in the effort. So whether I get other players or not, I really appreciate the squad I have, and they're doing a great job. So I appreciate them.
Fantastic. Mr. James Beard, thank you so much for being here with us this morning. I want to wish you all the best, with the team. I want to wish the team all the best as well. I enjoyed that victory at the Dwight York Stadium, the last game, and I'm hoping that you have more home games. And of course, we have the Tobago crowd going out and supporting FC Phoenix. And you guys are going to ensure that you are not one of the 2 or 3 teams at the bottom of the table to be relegated, but they're going to maintain that position and maintain your spot in the Premier Division. So good luck and enjoy your time here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. I've been chatting there with Mr. James Beard, head coach of FC Phoenix, based out of Cane and Bonaccord, the lone Tobago team participating in the Trinidad and Tobago Premier League. And, they're coming to come out of the relegation zone, and I hope they can maintain that and, of course, make their way up the table. Viewers are going to take a short break, but on the next set of the break, we have Mr. Cohen John, president of the Tobago Cricket Association. He's going to be talking about the start of the domestic season 2026. We're going to take a short break, but don't forget, share the live, share the live, share the live.
You come in. Long time I see you, Joe. This station pumping. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Stephen to see about them. Yes, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about them. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla? I thought it was your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next 2 better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Tobago, the sun is rising, and so are the conversations that matter, from the economy to education, from healthcare to community voices. No spin, no fluff, just facts, truth, and clarity. Join me, Lavian, as we cover the issues that shape our lives, the stories we can't ignore. We bring them to the table and ask the questions you want answered.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116. Hair goals, we've got 'em. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Hey viewers, welcome back, and thank you so much for staying tuned to Tobago Updates Television. Very wet on the outside, be careful on the roads, folks. Of course, just a while ago we chatted there with James Beard, head coach of FC Phoenix, and we're getting ready to have a discussion with the president of the Tobago Cricket Association, Mr. Corwin John, also a director Cricket West Indies and second vice president of the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board. Mr. John, are you there with us this morning?
Yes, I am. Morning, Marcus, and morning to the viewing public.
Just we're not hearing too well. Yeah, so we have Mr. John on. Right, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you, Marcus.
All right, fantastic. I'm hearing you loud and clear. Thank you so much for taking time off from you. I know you're very busy schedule, and I'm happy that you have one of our T20 World Cup jersey on. Is that an indication that you have the team in front of you? The West Indies World Cup team?
Not as yet. We aren't privileged to that detail as yet, but don't worry, in soon order.
In soon order. And I just saw Afghanistan beating us 2-1. I mean, for us who supporting West Indies wholeheartedly and rallying every day, is that cause for concern?
No, I don't think so. It was an opportunity to get a wider look at some of the other players, given the selectors, the main selector, Coach Darren Sammy, a wider view of players that he thinks should be considered for selection going into the final team for the World Cup. Yeah. So now, guys had 3 games. He tried to rotate the players within those 3 games so that he will get a look at everyone. So, as I said, equal opportunity. You have the seasoned players who most likely would be down on the list first. Then you have the other players that you would fit in. So I don't think we have no need for concern. As you fully aware that wasn't our strongest team that went to UAE to play against Afghanistan.
I saw that is it that we have a free match series again also against South Africa before the World Cup starts?
Yes, we do.
So another opportunity for the guys to stake a claim to Darren Sammy, the head coach. I mean, I'm hoping for all the best this time around, and I'm hoping that my tournament doesn't end before the semi-final and final. Yeah, but let us bring it back home. let us bring it back home, and we are getting ready for the start of the 2026 domestic season. Tell me about preparation and what can the Tobago public expect this season?
Well, preparation is there. We are at the Tobago Cricket Association have put everything in place as far as we can. The clubs are all ready and rearing to go. The tournament starts this weekend with the John Pollard newly renamed 2 days tournament, John Pollard 2 days league. That starts this Saturday on the 24th. So Saturday and Sunday with 3 games carded, Roxborough, Moriah, and Shaw Park. So yes, everything in place. We would start with the 2 days first, then we go into the 40 overs, and then we have the T20.
And you mentioned the 2 days have now been named after Mr. John Pollard. John Pollard, long-serving administrator of the Tobago Cricket Association, died last year. Shock to all of us. I mean, a word on John Pollard?
Well, for those of us who knew John, we know John was a servant to cricket. John dedicated all his life to cricket. I remember while going to high school, came to Shaw Park for training for under 17, under 19, and John Pollard was the coach. Then grew up, playing for Tobago team. John Pollard was the captain. Then administrator at the Tobago Cricket Association as president. John is there. Then, John was a national coach. He coached under 15. He recently coached the national under 17 team to victory. John was a long-standing Tobago senior team coach. You talk cricket, you talk John. As you know, and I said, the thing is, he left it all on the field where he actually died at a cricket field, at a cricket game.
And I think quite appropriately naming the 2-day competition in his honor, keeping his name alive. I think family and friends will obviously appreciate that, and looking forward to the 2-day league. In terms of the teams and clubs this year, Corinne, I mean, for some persons who may not be aware, if you can list out some of the teams that will be participating this year, that'd be good.
Okay, good. So we have your team, CMB United, coming out of
when they say my team, they say the best team, yeah.
we have Airport Authority, we have Tobago Gladiators, we have Scarborough Mason Hall, we have Tobago Police, we have Georgia Police Youth Club, and we have Roxborough Strikers.
Yeah, and I saw in the press some time ago where the Cricket Association mentioned something of a professional league to come this year. You care to elaborate on that?
All right, yes. So what I did last year in terms of moving the cricket forward and trying to bring the players up to a different level. I mean, my way of thinking is always looking at new initiatives to assist the players in earning, to assist the players in terms of recognition. So that's the way how I think. So what I did last year, I got down and did a proposal in terms of a semi-professional league for Tobago. It's a situation where the players of Tobago would be given an opportunity to participate in a league in a semi-formal settings, where you would be so guided by all the necessary ins and outs of a professional league. So the players would be more or less graded in terms of going forward, based on your scores in the domestic league, based on your wickets. So let's see how much wickets you can take. Let's see how much runs you can make and stuff like that. Let's see your discipline going forward. And then we would then be able to grade you A, B, or C grade to be able to go into a contract grade to be able to be graded. We also would extend this to players out of Tobago. Each franchise would be 4 franchises. Each franchise would be able to select, I think it's 5 players out of Tobago. So I'm not saying Trinidad, I'm saying out of Tobago. If you could bring players from England, that would be fine. That would be on the owner's that would be in the owner's corner. So yes, so we are looking at that. What I did with the proposal, I took it to the chief, and yes, I got a verbal, agreement that we would. So I'm still waiting. As we would have seen, it is in the blueprint of the just concluded campaign for the TPP, and it was also mentioned on the platform.
Yeah.
So I think the chief is fully, on board. He have never said anything to me and haven't kept his word.
Yeah.
So we at this point, I guess it's just waiting now for the dust to settle. Everybody is settling and have a conversation with him, and then all system would be go in terms of where that semi-professional league is concerned.
Fantastic. Semi-professional league. Is it that we also have our very first cricket stadium on the horizon coming to Tobago as well?
Most definitely. I could tell you the chief is very much adamant that that should be the case. Also, I know as a fact that the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board President, Mr. Azim Basarat, he is very adamant that it's time for Tobago to have a cricket stadium. So we have a cricket committee in place at the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board, who is just waiting to come to have a conversation with the relevant authorities in Tobago to put their claims across. The reason why it's time, too long, for Tobago not to be having a cricket stadium, an international cricket stadium.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just the return on investment. You have CPL, and we could be a venue to host matches or international matches. So I'm hoping that in the not too distant future, we can finally turn the sod to have our very first cricket stadium in Tobago. Mr. John, we have a very short time this morning. Got to leave it there this morning. I mean, any final word before I allow you to go?
Just thanks for having me. Thanks for always giving us the opportunity to promote cricket on the island. Your station have been doing a great job where that is concerned. They always give us an ear. So we are very appreciative of that, and we look forward to the 2026 season with all the spectators coming out to cheer and back their supporting teams and supporting players.
Yes, and we look forward to the announcement of the West Indies squad for the T20 World Cup, which starts next month. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and be safe on the roads.
Yeah, thank you, Marcus.
Fantastic. Yes, we've been chatting there with Mr. Kerwin John, President of the Tobago Cricket Association, Second Vice President of the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board, and Director Cricket West Indies. And we are all looking out for the squad to represent the West Indies at the upcoming T20 World Cup. Lots happening cricket-wise. Looking out for the domestic season, which starts, as Kerwin mentioned, over the weekend. And then we also have the interzonal tournaments going to start. Come next week, we have the under 15s taking to the field from the 28th. So much to look forward to. Go out there and rep your community-based team. Yes, we have Beagle Gladiators taking on Airports Authority tomorrow. That's at Roxborough. Then we have Georgia taking on Scarborough. Mason Hall, the defending champions at Moriah. And CMB United, Kingdom Monaco United, taking on the Tobago Police at Shaw Park. And Roxborough Strikers, they will be on a bye. One round of round-robin competition. Who is going to take the championship this year? Of course, this year's league in honor of John Pollard. Guys, we've been chatting this morning with Mr. James Baird and Mr. Kerwin John. Thank you so much for staying tuned to Tobago Updates Television, your number one station for all that's happening right here in Tobago, and I dare say Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, we have Natalie after the break with Good Morning Tobago. Don't forget, guys, have a wonderful weekend and share the live, share the live, share the live.
Because oncology is an illness that most people think is the end of life and oh gosh, my family member is dying, there are a lot of support for patients. Therefore, a lot of patients, relatives, friends and well-wishers follow them to clinic. The building that we now exist in is really small. We have 6 chairs in the waiting area, and then we cannot accommodate patients and relatives. If it rains, relatives have to find their cars. The sun is too hot, relatives have to find under trees. This situation was untenable. Therefore, the proposed move is welcome. I've been to the place, I've visited. The ambience is good. I know there is some construction to be done to make it fit for purpose at this time. And I do believe and I do feel that move, we will be able to enhance the care we give in various ways, because then we'll have space. Relatives will be able to come and sit with patients. That kind of intimate support will be there. For me, if I have to say yes or no to the move, I would have said yes in 2012, 2013, thereabout, when the population started growing. That is after we had started in 2010, and patients knew that we had services available in Tobago, and they start migrating from Trinidad. Definitely, patients, relatives would be happy. Patients would be happy. Staff would welcome, because the unit is definitely tight. You can't move a wheelchair around the unit. There's one patient toilet. The situation is not good as it is.
About 40 years ago, I got into an accident, and I got a blow. It's terrible stuff now. And I had a scar. And I was always conscious of feeling the scar. So one day I felt it a little uncomfortable. And I started to test, to check it, until I decided to have a checkup. The doctors and the nurses and again, they were really nice. You could see they were operating under duress. The place was uncomfortable, inadequate, not comfortable to sit for privacy, and but because it's cancer, because you're doing it, and you want the service, you go. If it was for any other reason, you would have looked for somewhere else to go. For they needed, and they need to be approved.
This is where, for instance, if I have to speak to a family about what's going on with a patient, I have to have the patient and all the relatives in this space. It's not really conducive to that sort of conversation, especially if the news is not good. Normally after chemotherapy, we want to see you a week later to see how you're going and check your blood count. And then a lot of times that's a second journey to St. James. A lot of people would just disappear for 3 weeks, and we hope we see them when the next treatment session comes around. It would allow for patients to have a bit more privacy, and even have a relative come and spend some time with them while they're doing their treatment, if the treatment is going on for hours. Having greater privacy would make people at least more at peace to know that, just because I show up at that building, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is what I have. Treatment in a more beautiful environment, a more calming environment, could only make things easier for patients. They're going through enough as it is, just with the illness and diagnosis, and coming to grips with that.
I'm so happy to know that you are doing something about it, because it's about time.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Good morning, viewers, and thank you for joining me this morning on GMT. Good morning, Tobago. I am Natalie Seeley Richardson, and it is Friday, the 23rd of January, 2026. I told you all the year will just keep running. It feels as though soon we'll be celebrating another Christmas, right? And I know many of you are looking to see if the eagle has landed already, because you know you got paid early in December, and just right about now you need that salary to be in that account. So let's hope for the best. Some people still have to wait until dead month end to get their salary. So hang in there. Don't worry, just hang in there. The eagle, if it's not landed, it will land soon. So let's get to our news this morning in 90 seconds. For Friday, January 23rd, 2026. Yesterday, the newly elected Assembly members met for the first time as the House covered its first ordinary meeting for the term 2026 to 2030. At the sitting, the body announced several administrative updates aimed at improving efficiency and governance. A key development was the appointment of a new leader and a deputy leader of Assembly Business. The presiding officer also confirmed the establishment of a special select public administration and integrity committee to oversee ethical conduct within the House. In addition, several sessional select committees were constituted under standing orders. These include Regulations Committee, Public Accounts Committee, House Committee, Standing Order Committee, and the Privileges Committee. The changes signal a renewed focus on accountability, procedural effectiveness, and legislation oversight. Up next, Trinidad and Tobago's maritime sector has been strengthened with the arrival of the MV Blue Wave Harmony at the Port of Spain terminal yesterday. The vessel has begun domestic cargo operations between the two islands, increasing freight capacity and improving the reliability of the inter-island sea bridge. Its entry into service supports more efficient logistics and helps the growing demand for cargo transport. And finally, according to a document leaked on social media, the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago plans on demonetizing the 5-cent coin by March 1st, 2026. The institution cited high production cost and declining purchasing power. A special committee has been formed to manage the withdrawal and assess its impact. Once implemented, cash transactions will be rounded to the nearest 10 cent, while electronic payments will remain unchanged. Public education and stakeholder engagement will be prioritized to ensure a smooth transition. These and other stories in our major newscast at 6:30 p.m. this evening. Be viewing Tobago Updates Television. And with that, we go to meet our guest this morning, who's starting us off on GMT, and how apt that this individual is our first guest to set us on the right path this morning. And I speak no other than Father Jean-Paul Henry of the St. Patrick Anglican Church. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, and thank you good morning to your viewers also.
And of course, we're here to talk about harvest and Thanksgiving in your parish. But before we get into that, Father Henry, let's talk a little bit about your ministry. How long have you been at the St. Patrick Anglican Church?
So my ministry at St. Patrick Anglican Church will have started in the year 2022. And as at November 2022, I was officially the priest in charge of the parish. Mm-hmm. So I've been there since 2022, carrying out my ministry as a priest.
Right. And you know, many times when we see persons of the clergy, they tend to fit a certain stereotype, meaning in terms of their age. So what's the reaction when people realize that, yes, you are Father Henry and you are the minister of the St. Patrick Anglican Parish Church?
So I've gotten a few shocked responses. Most persons, when they actually see me, they say, "Oh, I thought it was an older person."
Yes.
You know, and you know, there are some things that, though, as you said, there's a stereotype as to what a priest should look like. Mm-hmm. So there are some things that persons ask me, can a priest have that?
Right.
You know?
Yes.
So yeah, there's a bit of shock, but you know, when we understand the whole concept of discipleship, you know, God calls everyone.
Right.
Right. So we shouldn't really have a certain, I guess it's a societal and a traditional thing.
Yes.
But there's no really one way that a priest should look.
Right. Very well. And we should understand that, because it is something that we do not just in your profession or your calling, but we do it many times. And as you said, God can call anyone. And if we look at the example in the Bible, you know, the men that he called to follow him came from various backgrounds.
Correct.
So how has it been for you, and what would have influenced your decision to become a member of the clergy?
Well, really, I mean, it's being obedient to God's call on your life. In my journey, yes, I grew up in a church, and I will have had a plan for my life moving forward.
Right.
But when God calls, you have to answer. And so I came to a juncture in my life where I could no longer ignore the call.
Right.
So the plans that I had, my personal plans, had to take a backseat. And I had to listen to what God was saying to me. And that is where my journey started. And that will have been roughly in about 2017.
Right.
You know, I will have had some life-changing experiences that called me to obey God's call and follow.
And being a young father at the St. Patrick Anglican Church, how has the and I could only imagine how has the younger parishioners responded to have someone who maybe they can more identify with as their spiritual leader?
It has been welcoming, and in all things you will have the pros and the cons. You will have some people may feel, not that it has been expressed, but some people may feel, well, he's too young, maybe he needs a few more years. Some people may feel, oh, he looks just like me.
Right.
I could relate to what he's saying. You know, some conversations, persons are shocked that, oh, he knows about this. You know, they think because you're a priest, you may be an old man, and
right.
There's a disconnect.
Right.
Yeah, but you know, but it has been mixed. It has been rewarding. It has been wonderful. It has been eye-opening being a young clergy in the Anglican Church, and in Tobago too, because Tobago has its own uniqueness as compared to Trinidad.
And of course, I mean, I am not from Tobago, but I have been ingrained in the culture, and I must ask you about your Tobago roots. I mean, you are here, you are amongst us. So tell us a little bit about your Tobago roots.
Well, I actually have very close roots to Tobago because my mother is Tobagonian, so her side of the family is deeply rooted in Tobago. And growing up as a young person, we have been back and forth to Tobago every Easter, almost every August holidays. So there's that connection and that understanding and appreciation of the cultures.
Right. And of course, the moment we've been waiting for on the subject matter, we're talking about harvest. We're talking about Thanksgiving. Tell us, what does Harvest Thanksgiving mean to the parishioners, and by extension, what does it mean for the community you exist in?
Well, I'm glad that you asked about the community, because a lot of times when we hear the word harvest, people think solely of reaping what they have sown.
Yes.
On a personal level. But harvest, and if we look at it from a biblical perspective, it really involves the community, right? The work of the community and giving back to the community. You know, we have the spiritual side where after you reap what you have sown, you give the first and the best of your harvest to God in thanksgiving. And then there's that sharing with community. And in some aspects, we have, I don't want to say lost, but we have shifted a bit from that giving aspect. But I've recognized in Tobago that aspect is still very strong. And as one person mentioned to me this week, you know, harvest in Tobago is probably the only time that you could go into a stranger's house, eat their food, drink their drinks, and if you're too tired or you got drunk, you might even get a bed to sleep. You know, so, and I have had the harvest experience in Tobago, and it truly is unique. The fact that
definitely
I've gone into houses of people I don't know.
Yes.
And oh hi, welcome, you know, and you're treated almost like a king.
Yes.
You know, so there's that sense of giving back that harvest exudes, and that really helps us to live the gospel, as it were, sharing in our abundance with those less fortunate.
Now, many times, and as I like how you use the word shifted, many times when we use the word harvest or we hear about it, again, there seems to be a shift where, if I can use the other parts of the celebration, is there a disconnect between the spiritual relevance, how harvest is celebrated in many communities, you think?
I will say the spiritual aspect is still there, but are we paying attention to it?
Right.
Is probably where there's the question. Because as I said, in giving, in our giving, we are living the gospel. But are we engaging in harvest with the spiritual intent is the question.
Right.
So it is present, but are we recognizing it as that is what we are engaging in that celebration?
Right. And the theme for this year is a celebration, the fruits of our labor, celebrating God's blessings. Tell us a bit about that.
So I wanted to bring the message, or to drive home just what you raised, that sense of community in terms of our celebration. And God has blessed us, continues to bless us. He continues to give us abundance. But the question is, what are we really doing with an intentional mind with that abundance? And so that last year and even this year, we are trying to increase in terms of our giving and our engagement of community. So the fruit of our blessings, the fruit of our labor, celebrating God's blessings, with a focus on looking as to how we engage our communities and those in need, and not just our circles.
Right. You're extending yourself and giving.
Yes.
Because after all, I tell people you can't separate from the church from a community. You exist because of that community.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's talk about what we can expect for service that morning. It begins at 9 a.m. and we're talking about January 25th, which is this Sunday, viewers. So for those, even if you may not be an Anglican, in Trinidad and Tobago, we are all things and we are all people. So, of course, you are invited and you don't have to be Anglican to be a part of this celebration. Do I have that right, Father?
You have it exactly right.
Yeah, so tell us what we can expect on January 25th. And I believe service begins at 9 a.m.
Yes, service begins at 9 a.m. at our Mount Pleasant location. Our guest celebrant and preacher this year will be the Right Reverend Bishop Claude Berkeley, the Bishop of Trinidad and Tobago, the Anglican Church in Trinidad and Tobago. And as you said, it's not only about Anglicans, because this year we have one of our but our choir is called the Music Ministry.
Okay.
And that choir is actually made up of Anglicans and non-Anglicans, right? So they will be gracing us with their voices and their music to carry the service. We will have a lovely service because harvest is usually a time when everybody comes out and gives their best.
Right.
So, usually it's very uplifting and exciting. So service is going to be dynamic as far as I can see.
Right.
And I continue to pray that it will be like that. And then after our service, we move into our fellowship and lunch at the rectory grounds. So we have converted the rectory grounds to a place of dining, if I may call it that. So we will head down to the rectory grounds where we will have seating. We will have our soft bar, lunch will be served. We will have some guest artists to, give us a little serenading throughout the festivities. We will have a MC, I believe it's Mr. Marlon Calendar, I hope I got the name correct, who will guide us through the evening's proceedings. And last year we were there until probably about 4 p.m. after the service, and I anticipate persons may want to stay on a little longer this year.
Yes, and what about activity for the children?
Of course, always have the children. So part of our giving back last year and this year continues to be, we are making provisions for children to eat free. Children 18 years and, under the age of 18, they will receive lunches free. So that is part of our giving back. And of course, we have the bouncy castle, the face painting. We have the fun stalls, lucky dip, hoopla or ring toss as they call it, and one or two other activities for the kids on the day. So that, of course, you can't have an activity without engaging the kids actively. So last year they had a fun time. I know some parents spend more than they projected to spend, but when it comes to the happiness of the kids, we go all out.
Yes, definitely. And of course, again, viewers, we're talking about St. Patrick Anglican Church Harvest Thanksgiving, the fruits of our labor, celebrating God's blessings on Sunday, the 25th of January. And the service begins at 9 a.m. And of course, after service, there's lunch and a lot of activities and opportunities for fellowship. So those of you who are Anglicans, make your phone calls, get the connection going, and if you are a viewer and you're interested in something to do, of course, you can be a part of that. Now, before you go, Father Henry, what, as you are the spiritual leader of that church, what may, and in your whole list of goals and what the direction the church would also set, what is one thing you would like to see for your congregation for this year of 2026?
I love that question. You know, why I love that question is because as a young priest also, I will have started with a whole host of goals that I wanted for our parish.
Right, yes.
And, you know, as time go on, you recognize, well, something may have to be a long-term goal. You have to put it on the back burner for now. So for this year, my goal is really community engagement. How are we servicing the community where we are placed? And not only seeking to help the Anglican community, but the entire community, right? Because salvation is not a selfish thing.
Right.
You're seeking all God's children in the work that you do. And one of our areas of such engagement that we have been pushing is that of our social outreach. And we will have had a distribution this year where we were actually able to more than double the outreach that we will have done for the last year. So we have started 2026 on that, in that vein, where our social outreach has certainly been ramped up, and we are actually getting to identifying persons in the community who are in need and assisting them in alleviating their situation to some extent.
Right, excellent. And of course, let me use this opportunity to say a pleasant Friday good morning to one of your parishioners, Miss Raynell Clark. I hope you have a fabulous day. And I'm speaking to Father Henry, so I'm getting to meet your priest this morning and have this interesting conversation as we talk about what's expected on Sunday. So Father Henry, thank you for stopping by. We wish you all the best and a successful harvest service and for the rest of the day's activities. May God continue to bless the work that you are doing and of course bless the community in which you exist in.
And as I thank you for this opportunity, can I just also thank Harvest God,
sure,
who continues to work with us and has been pushing the harvest also on his platform, his social media platform. So we are thankful for the exposure given by Harvest God and by Tobago Update, well, GMT,
yes,
this morning.
Yes, of course. Well, we are Tobago Updates, and it's just GMT, the show this morning. So again, viewers, something to do. And for those of you who did not know that Father, and I think sometimes they call you JP, so it's John Paul Henry. So Father JP Henry is the spiritual leader now, you know. So when you see him, you know, you can wave to him, let him encourage him in his ministry. Sometimes we think our spiritual leaders have it all together and they are just ready and, you know, to go. Of course, give him an encouraging word whenever you see him so that he will continue, you know, to do God's work. So thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, we go for a quick break. When we return, I have two guests, two representatives from Tutor. You will meet them. They are familiar faces to you, and we will continue to talk to issues related to that sector. All right, so see you as soon as we get back from the other side of this break.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Do more, live more.
Tobago, the sun, is rising, and so are the conversations that matter, from the economy to education, from healthcare to community voices. No spin, no fluff, just facts, truth, and clarity. Join me, Lavian, as we cover the issues that shape our lives, the stories we can't ignore. We bring them to the table and ask the questions you want answered.
MI4 Security Services Company is MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago, so it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor.
Thank you, viewers, and welcome back. You are viewing GMT Good Morning Tobago. I'm your host, Natalie Seeley Richardson, and we just saw that live shot sponsored by Port Mall outside. It is raining. I don't know if it's island-wide, but definitely in the Scarborough area, the rain is pouring. So drivers, you know, those who may be listening, those in the office, if you're in your home, if you have to venture out, of course, exercise some caution, and let's look out for each other. And feel free to drop us, you know, a little line in our chat. Tell us where in Tobago you are and if it is raining. It's certainly not sunny skies in downtown Scarborough this morning. With me, continuing conversations is two gentlemen, and as they walked in on set, I said, wow, I got the memo this morning, because we are certainly wearing the same colors this morning, or very similar colors. I have Mr. Dion Rodriguez, our tutor-elected Tobago officer, and newly elected, I must say. So let me congratulate you, Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
And of course, we have Mr. Ruel George, District Chairman of Tutor for Tobago. Good morning, Mr. George.
Pleasant morning to
right.
the viewers.
And I know, you see how we look in our green? We do look lovely this morning. I know viewers, many of you are familiar with these gentlemen. Of course, if you are new to Tobago, Tobago Updates Television, and you have not been able to meet these gentlemen, they are about our education system. They represent our teaching fraternity. And we'll talk a bit this morning about Tutor Tobago. Let me start with you, Mr. Rodriguez. Being newly elected, fresh in the seat, as we like to say, it is something you have. Tutor is not new to you. You've always been in the institution. You've always been a part. We've always heard your voice. So it's interesting, because the person who you ran against or ran with, I don't know what's the preferred term, is a friend of yours. How was that, you know, with both of you looking for the same position, but having, you know, that camaraderie still with Mr. Peterkin?
All right, thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Peterkin and I, we go way back, way beyond tutor. As a matter of fact, we fellowship at the same church, the Mount Grace Open Bible Church. And it just goes to show the reason why both of us, I think, went for the position is because both of us share the same desire. We have a desire to serve. And in Trinidad and Tobago and within Tutor, democracy is alive and well. And I really want to commend my candidate, my colleague, my friend, Mr. Peterkin, for really running a respectful race. This race that was run in election, I'm certain that no one can say that either party had ill words to say. As a matter of fact, it was reported to me when he visited Signal Hill Secondary School, he indicated to the teachers that we are colleagues and that we are friends. And it's indeed true that we are colleagues and we are friends. And beyond the election, I'm going to reach out and we continue to be colleagues. We continue to be friends. All right. So I really, as the Tobago officer-elect, I thank him for a well-run campaign.
And tell us a little bit about your role as Tobago officers. There may be viewers who may not understand your role, your responsibilities as the Tobago officer.
All right, so the Tobago officer is really that advocate in the Tobago space. Tutor would have their national officers, as you well know. I think earlier this week, the president would have visited the radio station. But because of geographic location and the peculiarities that exist in Tobago, Tutor had decided many years ago that they need an individual in the Tobago space that is going to stand in the proxy to advocate for the teachers in Tobago. So the Tobago officer is that individual that will be at those national level meetings at the CPO office, at the Ministry of Education, at Teaching Service Commission, because he understands the situations and the challenges that Tobago teachers face, and he advocates very strongly in those spaces for Tobago teachers. In addition, he also advocates in the tutor realm, where the national officers are concerned, having them getting a better understanding of the challenges and the unique challenges that is faced by Tobago teachers.
And let me bring Mr. George in on the conversation as district chairman, and I'll ask a similar question. What is your role as you sit as a district chairman?
As district chairman, my responsibility first and foremost would be to mobilize the district. When it comes to tutor, there are various districts across Trinidad and Tobago. We have the Tobago districts, Port of Spain district, among others. And the chairman's role is, in essence, to mobilize events and all the all the things that happen with respect to teachers to ensure that those views are related to the Tobago officer, and in turn the Tobago officer will air those views in the various spaces.
Now let's talk of one of the issues, and it's something we hear a lot about when we hear tutor. We're talking about salaries of teachers. Now, I know last year an agreement was signed, but I realized that I've been seeing and hearing teachers asking, where is the money? Right? We would have had an agreement. So tell us a little about exactly where is that and what you think may be expected, Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you. So as you indicated last year, April 2025, TUTA, which is a recognized majority union for teachers within Trinidad and Tobago, and not just teachers, but educators and third schedule individuals, would have signed an agreement with the CPO. That agreement, you know that the government would have changed right after that. The present government under the Minister of Finance would have indicated in his budget that teachers are going to receive their money, that the agreement that was signed in April would be ratified and teachers are going to receive their payments. The new president, Mr. Ash, would have met, along with his team, would have met with the CPO in December. And it was indicated to them at that time that the adjustment in salary would take place in January of 2026. It was on the 5th of January, as reported by our president, that the CPO indicated that the cabinet note that was sent to cabinet through the Minister of Finance was returned to the CPO office because there are some things on it that they want adjusted and some additional information that is required. We are saying that since last year, April, to now, that is unacceptable. An agreement has been signed and teachers deserve better. Teachers are the backbone of this society. Teachers are the catalyst of change in any society. And as teachers, we must be respected. And teachers felt hurt because we've seen in this space that other things are happening and teachers are not given the recognition that should be given to them. So in a general council meeting, we'd have decided that, listen, to show our displeasure and to show our solidarity and that we are a united front, we are going to start to wear red in this space.
And of course, most times in the media, when we hear about tutor, when we hear about teachers, it's often for whether it's increased salary, better working conditions. But coming from tutor, what is in place for the other side in terms of dealing with teachers as a profession? Because we know in all professions there are some who may drop the ball. So what role does tutor play? Because I've heard many persons say all tutor do is make noise for more money for teachers, and you have some teachers who really dropping the ball. They're coming to school late all the time. They may not be pulling their ranks, and we know there are many teachers who are not like that, but we do have some that exist. What role does tutor play in its members who may be delinquent, so to speak?
All right, so tutor does not condone at any time any level of delinquency. As a matter of fact, as a staff rep in a school, we ask the school for that individual to be that exemplar within the school environment. Sometimes it doesn't occur in all honesty, but it's always tutor intention for those individuals that represent the union to be exemplars, individuals within the school environment that persons ought to follow. But within the structure of tutor under the first vice president, he is responsible for professional development. So outside of the negotiation, which is the responsibility of the second vice president, we also have professional development activities within tutor. We have the preparation for promotion workshop. We do workshop on mental health. We do workshop on the peer counseling. There are a number of training that takes place where tutor offers training. It's just a matter of you as a school requesting the training through your principal, and tutor makes themselves available through the pool of individuals that we have that comes to the school and do the various training. In addition to that, the third vice president of tutor is responsible for benefits and welfare, and that through tutor as well, we have social activities, social events. We have sports that is now biannually. So tutor does not just cater or engage persons where salaries are concerned, but the intention of tutor is for the holistic development of the teachers. As a matter of fact, the second objective of tutor is to promote and protect both your professional, your economic, your spiritual, and your social well-being. That is written in the as one of the second objective of tutor, or the second objective, I should say, of tutor.
Mr. George, when we talk about membership for tutor, is it automatic that once you're a teacher in Trinidad and Tobago, you are a member and you're covered by tutor? Or is it that you need to enroll, pay membership dues, etc.? How does it work?
Okay, so to become a member, it's not something that is automatic when you enter the profession. However, persons are encouraged to join the union. Yes, there is a fee. There's the first time fee of $120, and thereafter it's $100 that is deducted from your salary. And this goes a long way in terms of advocacy on behalf of a teacher, or social events, as Mr. Rodriguez would have mentioned, among other activities. Persons believe that tutor is just an organization that just try to advance the causes of teachers, but we also according to the different pillars that we have, we cater to so many other things. As you said before, we have many events that you've seen us before, and it's not all the time, speaking to an issue, but things where we're able to uplift our teachers. Last year we had the Teachers Convention between September and December. And now we have, which we will discuss very shortly, our social event. But throughout the year, it have various activities where where members are able to benefit. And as such, for me, it's a no-brainer. Outside of, that advocacy that is needed for teachers, that just to have a circle of persons to be able to speak on common issues at tutor would be an organization to join.
Right, and let's continue along that same vein, Mr. George. We're talking about social activities held for the members of tutor, for teachers in general. You have an event coming up. Tell our viewers about that event that's happening pretty soon.
Okay, this Saturday, which is tomorrow, Tutor Tobago District, we present Harmony in Black, all-inclusive social event. It's basically open to the public. We have our guest artist as Adana, who we all know, and she's very exquisite with her voice. The start time is 7 p.m. with a cost of $300, and the venue will be at Green Palm Boutique Hotel. That is right next to where the Shade nightclub used to be. So it promises to be an experience, an all-inclusive event at $300. We know that in this present day and age, that kind of price is a giveaway. We have a lot of repeat customers where persons would have enjoyed the various offerings that we had before. It's something that is annual. And we usually give this opportunity for teachers and the public alike to, just relax and wind down, anything outside of teaching or just, you might be a little stressed and so on. This is the opportunity to have an experience to kind of put your troubles by the side and just enjoy.
Now, I understand there's a dress code. Tell us about the dress code in terms of, everything is color-coded these days.
Harmony M blank is, when you translate that in English, it's harmony in white. So we see white as purity. We see white as, what teachers strive to be. Because believe it or not, we really impact the minds of students.
Yeah.
And me being a teacher of 20-something years now, that I have met persons, students, when they are adults, and, you're getting that feedback from them when they were in school, and, they're thanking you for the various times that you had with them, those positive experiences that they had. And that is where the theme emanated from, that sense of purity that we expect as teachers to model. So we have Harmony in Black, all white affair, $300. It's an all-inclusive social event, and the venue is at Green Palm Boutique Hotel, which is right.
And how can interested persons get tickets?
So persons can contact the district chairman at 767-5944. There is also, we have other district executive members that persons will be knowledgeable about, but the main contact is 767-5944, as well as the tutor office. That office could be contacted as well for more information, as well as tickets to be made available for persons to buy.
All right, so that's the 24th of January. That's tomorrow at 7 p.m. You heard the venue, you heard the cost, and you heard the dress code. So it's now your opportunity to be a part of that social event, a time to mingle and just have a relaxing time. Now, viewers, Tutor is also giving you, our viewers, an opportunity to win a ticket to attend this social event. And you must be the first person to give the correct answer. So you will hear the question just now, so just stay tuned. You have to WhatsApp, so I'm giving you an opportunity to get your phone in hand. I'm going to give you that number, right? So you have to make sure, you might be the first, but your answer has to be the correct one. All right, so you are going to send in your response to 284-6597. So we should have that up on the screen pretty soon. 284-6597, because you're getting the opportunity to answer that question now. All right, 284-6597. It is on the screen, and I would allow one of the gentlemen to take it away with your question. Remember, the first correct response coming in, you have an opportunity to win a ticket that covers you for that. You'll be responsible for all the other expenses, but your ticket will be covered by Tutor today. So which one of you would?
I will pose the question.
Sure. And it's going to be easy, so you have no reason to get the answer wrong. All right, so go ahead, Mr. George.
So fellow viewers, the question is this: where is the Tutor Tobago district office located?
All right, so send in your answers. Easy. Let's see who is going to be quick on the draw and who is going to answer first. And we would share the winner pretty soon. So I must ask newly elected Tobago officer Rodriguez, what is one of your hopes to accomplish? Because I know as a leader, somebody who's passionate about the education field, your students, your colleagues, you've always been underground. You are no stranger, as I mentioned, to advocacy. But one thing that one issue that you would just like to see come into effect, whether it's nationally, whether it's just from the Tobago end for Tutor, for its members.
All right, so going around to the schools and engaging with the teachers, what I have realized is that a number of teachers have a very low morale. As a matter of fact, some teachers indicated to me, Mr. Rodriguez, if given the opportunity, I am going to leave the teaching service. And we are talking about young teachers. And in any institution, we must be conscious and must be mindful of succession planning. So when the younger ones are saying that, listen, their morale is low and they are ready to leave, that is cause for concern. I know that within the Tobago space, every individual wants to see Tobago students do well. When you look at the SEA results last year, Tobago was performing under the national average or under the national mean. I think the girls were about 197, the boys were about 190, and the national mean or national average was about 200. When our teachers are 100%, they would give 100%. No one in any relationship is going to give 100% if they have issues and challenges. And that is a systemic problem that teachers in Tobago are facing. There are too many nuances. There are too many problems that teachers face. For example, leave classification is a big one. With leave classification, teachers' increments are ceased at that point in time because of the fact that that leave classification needs to be assessed first and determine whether you should the leave should be with pay, without pay, or half pay. I was speaking to a teacher. She has been a teacher for more than 25 years, and she have indicated to me where her salary presently is because of leave classification. And persons that started to teach 12 and 10 years ago are earning more than her for that simple reason. And I am saying that within the Tobago space, there are too many challenges that our teachers face, both holistically as a district, and also individually that persons individual teachers face. So my goal and my objective as the next Tobago officer is really to address those issues. So there's not one issue that Mr. Rodriguez wants to address, but he wants to address the issues that Tobago teachers face to ensure that teachers' concerns are heard, that teachers' voices are heard, and that the issues in the Tobago space are resolved. The leave classification being the #1 situation presently that Tobago teachers face, because as you should know, that is shared in the public space through the outgoing Tobago officer, Mr. Roberts. Presently, those leave applications have now been returned to Tobago, and they are placed in Tobago in boxes, and nothing is taking place because the devolved power has not yet been given to Tobago House of Assembly through the office of the Chief Administrator. So that's my first call, to meet with the policymakers as fast as possible for us to bring a resolution to that situation. There are a host of other things that are happening in the Tobago space where contract teachers are concerned. As I shared in my campaign trail, in one secondary school in Tobago, 1 in every 3 teacher is working on contract. 1 in every 3 teacher. That is high. That's almost 30. That's 33.3% or 34% of the teachers in the school. And when you work as a contract teacher, you are engaged financially at the base of the salary scale for which you are employed, and you remain there. There's no incremental increase for you. And those individuals, we have them at Signal Hill Secondary School where I'm a teacher. Those individuals work hard, and even sometimes even harder than persons that have appointed. So we must give respect where respect is due, and we must have our teachers' concern in the Tobago space addressed.
Now, I know we have to wrap up pretty soon, and viewers, I hope we are able to share the winner before we leave. A lot of you have responded. I understand that some of the answers are very incorrect, so sorry, but we're sifting. We're looking at as it comes in. We may have a winner, but I'll share that with you. Mr. Rodriguez, you mentioned, in terms of salary and the classification and these little things that throw off someone's service. I've always heard about retirees and their gratuity, how long it takes. I know with recent time, I've heard there has been a great improvement, right? That's what I've heard. But why is it that someone will retire after giving so many years of service and have to go through? And I know of cases, or I know at least of one case where a person would have passed away and not collected their gratuity. So tell us if things are much better now and what can really be done in that area.
Well, first of all, I want to categorically state that things are not better. There may be instances where 1 or 2 persons are receiving their gratuity in quick succession, but within the space, there are still a number of teachers that are taking years to get things processed. It was recently on my campaign trail, I was speaking to an individual that was saying to me, Mr. Rodriguez, all I need is my money, but they can't get the money because their leave has not been classified. I was speaking to another individual that is soon to retire, and their pension and leave is not up to date. Things have not been done, and I'm just asking that in this space. There are a number of things that needs to be done to ensure that when you are retiring, that it's done. Tutor 1 is going to take responsibility and ensure that within the Tobago space that we have training for individuals so that they ensure that the documents are in order. But in addition to that, the individuals that are responsible to ensuring that those things are done, it must be done. It is heartrending to hear that teachers have retired 5 years and they have not received a cent. We must do better. We can do better, and we must do better in the Tobago space. Collectively, collectively as a division, collectively as a union, and individually. So the individual must be prepared. They must start to do the work. I am saying at least 3 years before you go home, ensure that things are done. But those that are responsible for getting it done, because we have situations where persons are attempting to get things done, but it's the individuals that are responsible for getting them done and ensuring that those things are done. There's delay on their part. So let's work collectively. These individuals would have sacrificed over the years. It is upon their shoulders that we now stand today as teachers, because they would have made the sacrifices. They would have walked the walk so that our children, our grandchildren can stand in the position. And it's only respectful that we ensure that when they are going home, that their gratuity can be paid in a timely manner.
And thank you so much for sharing with us, Mr. Rodriguez. Now, we do have that winner to share with you, and the winner for the ticket for this social event happening tomorrow, 7 p.m., is Miss Lindian. You got the answer correct. Mr. George, let our viewers know where the office is.
So the office is located at McKay Hill Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago.
All right.
So if you pass through that road where our boys Pantant is, you drive inside there, you will see the building on the left-hand side. It's right upstairs, Teachers Credit Union.
All right, so Lindian, now you'll have to collect your ticket at Tobago Updates, but we don't want any impersonators, so make sure you walk with your ID. We will contact you directly, Lindian, and give you some more instructions, but I want to let you know you would have to show your ID to collect the ticket. So those who may pretend to be Lindian, you're not going to get through this morning, all right? Lindian, thank you for taking part, and all the others who took part, now you know where the tutor office is in Tobago. Thank you, gentlemen, and all the best. Mr. Rodriguez, again, you know, all the best as you continue to champion for the teachers in Tobago, and of course, Mr. George, you and the rest of the executive as well, as you continue to advocate for our teachers here. And viewers, it's that time where I have to say, until we see each other again, thank you for staying with us. Thank you for making, you know, your home right here on Tobago Updates Television and always supporting us as we bring content to you. It is Friday. It's really wet and rainy on the outside. Please be safe. Drivers, those of you who are going to head out and you are hearing me, you know, exercise a little, you know, more caution on the road, be a little more calm. We know how things can be when we have days like this. So thank you so much. It is Friday. It's the beginning of a weekend. Be safe. So many activities happening. We have harvest celebration in St. Patrick Parish, the Anglican Church there in Mount Pleasant. We have ASI. I think we had them on earlier as well. We have an expo on Sunday at the Food Hub. So for those of you who would like to pass through, that's from about 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. All right, so you can pass through a lot of local businesses, giveaways, you know, activities, make your purchases, etc. So a lot is happening, family-oriented activities as well, so you can do something. And of course, we heard from Tutor with their social event that's happening tomorrow at 7 p.m. Remember to wear white. So thank you, viewers, until we see each other again.